If Ben decided not to vlog tomorrow, there would be no vlog. We now sell Fight for Together mugs in our merch store. Link is in the description.
Mama, can I talk to the camera?
Sure.
I like to bite, but today is not the butt, so they're having eggs and hash brown, and that's sad. Don't really like that.
Here we go. Look at this. We have, it says version 5 up here, but that's just this go around. There was like 4 other versions before this. There is 315 pages, and currently I am on page 79. On Friday, I got this draft back from the writer that I'm working with for the Appalachian Trail book. I've lost track. I mean, this is really, I don't know, depending on how you define a draft, like the 8th and 10th draft, somewhere around there. But what this writer said that I'm working with, her name's Megan, she says this is the touchdown draft. Meaning, I guess it's like the last version. Oh, and what am I, 4 chapters in? It's getting real. This book is gonna be done. I'm reading it for maybe the last time. It's hard to say. I mean, I could read it one more time. I've read it like so many times that it's a lot of work to slog through it. It's also really fun though, because each time it's different and I'm like changing things as I go and noticing things, and it's getting better and better. But I really want it to be done also, so it's just hard to know like, when is it enough? All right, well, here we go. Chapter 5, Child Protective Services. If parents wish to preserve childhood for their own children, they must conceive of parenting as an act of rebellion against culture. Neil Postman. Man, I love that quote. On day 22, we woke up in the women's bathroom. The sun had come up, but the temperature was still just 16 degrees, well below freezing. All right, you're gonna have to wait for the rest. Just got to page 120, chapter 9. Starting to get really good. The first 3 or 4 chapters are pretty hard to read because the trail was so tough and hard at that point. And there's no real good or easy way to make it sound nice. It just wasn't nice. But after about that point, the story like really picks up as it really started to change and feel so different to us. Time for lunch. Oh, is this the coffee that Dove's sending out?
Ben and I are going on a run right now. Dove, Eden, and Memory already left. We run 5 days a week. Now we take the weekends off. And we've run every single day the 5 days a week since we started our schedule 6 weeks ago, or however long it was. And the marathon would have been yesterday, which is crazy. They've postponed it till October. Hopefully it'll still go on then, but who knows.
There's the kids up there. You can see, oh, they're coming down the stairs. I don't know where they're going. What'd you do?
We did the backwards short run. We did Purple Creek Bridge, White Bridge,
All right.
Yeah.
What? Definitely. All right, well, I'm trying to talk Cammie into doing a 7-mile run.
Ugh, I don't know. Fun with that? We'll see.
So the marathon was supposed to be on Sunday, and I'm pretty disappointed that it was canceled. You're gonna get run over. I look forward to that every year. It kind of like it's kind of, to me, symbolizes like the beginning of like summer. Like it's like one of the summer warm time activities, and it's normally really fun. It feels super gratifying. We work up to it. Anyways, it's gonna be in October, which is just gonna be kind of weird, but I'm just glad it's still happening. But yeah, we're going on a really short run today, and it feels good.
So I'm pretty disappointed that we missed the marathon, and we didn't miss it because it's in October, which is going to be interesting because that's when my birthday is around, so maybe it's even like on my birthday. But today I was like, wait, was today supposed to be the marathon? Then I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So I was like, oh, I better go on a run because that would be kind of dumb if I didn't. I was pretty disappointed about actually mostly the half marathon, but so now, like, knowing I kind of expected the full marathon to be put off, I definitely think it will be weird in October, but I feel fine about it. I mean, we're still running, and I'm glad that we can still run. Yes.
We had a good 7-mile run, Cammie and I, and tonight is Eden's night to make dinner. Eden, what do we got?
Broccoli and baked macaroni and cheese, so it's not very healthy, but
oh wow. Dinner was good. So we wanted to catch you guys up a little bit on this book writing process and share about one of the most important decisions that we made along the way. Man, we started writing this book, what, a year and a half ago?
I don't remember. Was it? Oh,
It was probably like 2 months after we got back.
Oh geez, it'll be 2 years in September, and it's May right now, so.
So almost 2 years.
I think so, yeah. More than a year.
And when we started off writing the book, we wanted to write it together. It was going to be by Ben and Cammie Crawford.
Yeah.
And I think the mindset was, for me, like, oh, this is our story.
Right.
Like, we lived it together. We're going to have to, like, get all the details out together.
Right.
And it's going to be, like, our ideas.
Yeah. And when in the first several months, that is what happened. We got out the story to this scribe person.
Yeah, we hired this service that was going to help us write the book because I really wanted the book to be written well, and I want it to be written quickly. Which is kind of, I mean, it probably would have taken a lot longer.
Hopefully we'll have one out of the two.
And what they did in the beginning, it was kind of cool, was they interviewed us for hours and hours and hours. I think it was like 8 or 10 hours.
Yeah.
And we just told the story from beginning to end. Like everything that we thought was important, both of us on phone calls, and then they recorded these phone calls.
Right.
And they
And
transcribed.
they would ask questions too to kind of jog our memories and get stuff out there.
But it was both Cammie and I on these phone calls coming up with these outlines.
Yeah. Yeah. That seems like a really long time ago, actually.
Yeah. So then they printed all these up, and we started to fine-tune outlines with them and come up with rough drafts and then first drafts. And I think you were a part of like the first draft, like reading it and then providing feedback.
Yeah.
But then we found out, which I guess we already knew, but I have a lot more opinions about the way the story could be crafted.
And you're just more passionate, I think, about writing. I actually think you were more passionate about even just getting a book together. I mean, I thought it was a great idea and I wanted to help, but you had the main drive for that.
Yeah. And over the years, I've written a lot. Probably hundreds of blog posts, like Facebook updates, which I consider like micro blogging, other books.
Yeah.
So when it came time to do these reviews, what we saw was I was the one making all the changes and having all the opinions. And I was still fine. I still kind of saw it like, oh, this is our story.
Yeah.
So it's still Ben and Cammie Crawford. It's written by Ben and Cammie Crawford. Like, I didn't really care about the credit, but then again, at some point...
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I think it was like 6 months ago, we started to just try to question like, okay, should you be a co-author? What are the pros and cons of that? What does that mean? Yeah, we were trying to figure that out.
Which is all sorts of things from like what's accurate, and also like if we ever end up doing like speaking with this, if it says like Ben and Cammie Crawford, does that mean we both need to go? Or if it's just my name, does that mean only I have to go?
The other thing about that, I wouldn't have thought of this if I hadn't gone through this process, but about having two authors is it's a pain in the ass to try to like say anything, because you can't just say I. You know, you're having to be pretty creative, and it kind of makes the story a little bit watered down or weird, or
because everything is like we, or you have to clarify it, and that was ultimately the thing. Mm-hmm. The writing team that we hired, they ultimately came back and said, because the first like 5 drafts were we, and finally there started to become more and more personal opinions that needed to like have individual ownership. Yeah,
because it's more powerful that way.
So I started writing those, and they said, oh, this is some of the best stuff in terms of like tone, is the stuff that's written from a singular perspective.
Yeah.
So they said, we recommend that you have one author.
Yeah.
So then I toyed around with like Ben Crawford with Cammie Crawford.
Right.
Like, you're not a co-author, but you helped a lot. And I still feel so much, this is what's so hard, it's so much like our story.
Yeah. But people write books all the time that they're the only author, but there's other people that are very much the stars in the story as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm not writing about myself, although it is like my perspective, but I am the one writing
You're
it.
the one telling the story. You're telling our story.
I think another thing that helped along the way was you started to write more songs.
Yeah.
This was, really in the last year. Like, you've written all your songs. That's like your thing.
Yeah.
And I think before that, most of the things we did felt like our thing. Or
like your thing with like me tacked on.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying that to degrade myself. I just think that's just the reality of like our personalities.
Even the vlog, a lot of people don't realize, like, I'm the producer. Like, if we were to have roles.
Yeah.
Like, I direct and produce it. So every day, like someone has to come up with an idea of like, what's this episode going to be about? Like,
Yeah.
who's...
If Ben decided not to vlog tomorrow, there would be no vlog.
So
Like,
even the stuff where Cammie's filming, it's her
Yeah.
talking, but it's me saying, hey, Cammie, this is most of the time.
Yeah.
Hey, Cammie, can you talk about this today? Because I
Yeah.
think it'd be really cool.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. Or, who knows?
At first, I felt really kind of bad, I think. Like, I was like, oh, I want to take credit for this together. Like, I don't want to take more credit. But after, like, the 7th draft of me reading it, and you not even knowing where the book's at anymore.
I know, I think it's actually a really different book than I read a year ago, or almost 2 years ago. I think it's...
So Cammie hasn't read it in the
I
last
probably won't even recognize it. I'll probably
year.
be like, whoa.
I don't think you will. I think it's so
I'm
different.
kind of excited to read it.
So how do you feel not being on it? Like, is it hard at all?
Oh, I think when you first told me, it was like, there was like 20% of me that was like, oh, I kind of had to adjust my expectations, and it felt a little bit like disappointing. But then honestly, since you told me, I've just like not even thought about it. Like, it was sort of just like, oh, okay. And you've written this other book now that has only your name on it, and to me, I'm like, you're an author. I don't have that like same desire or drive or anything like that. And I do think having my songwriting does help me just see like that's where I'm passionate and I get a lot of life from, and just like Ben does with his writing. So
I've realized like more and more through this process, where's he going? That living a story is not the same thing as writing a story.
oh, totally.
Like, or writing a book at least. I mean, like
Yeah.
writing a book is a whole nother thing. It's not just,
Another art form.
you think you just like live the facts and then you just take those facts and you write them all down and then you have a book. That's a terrible book. A book is
Yeah.
not just a bunch of facts. It's a specific group of facts written together with a very specific purpose and theme
tailored in such
that
a
like
way.
guide people in a very certain
Yeah.
direction
Oh yeah.
that's highly organized.
Yeah.
And I think I really enjoy that process. And I don't think you do at all. Like, that's not your thing.
I love reading good books, but
I mean, I've probably read like 20 plus books on just writing
yeah.
in the last 5 years because I love it. So we just wanted to update you guys about that. When the book comes out, it will be written by Ben Crawford, just me. And I've really struggled with how to give you credit because once again, I feel I'm like, yeah, I wrote it, but it's our story,
Yeah.
you know? And even like the kids, you know, I just feel like it's so weird to be the one person responsible. Even there's other hikers, you know, I'm writing about hops and I'm writing about fresh ground and I'm writing about the degenerates and these people
Yeah.
that played such a pivotal role in our life.
Yeah.
And I'm recounting these details by memory, by diaries, by videos, but there's a lot of stuff that's like, you know, there's probably different views on the same thing.
Oh, sure.
And I want to portray it accurately and portray people well, you know? It's hard, but I am really excited. If you guys want to be the first group to find out when this book comes out, there's a link in the description, and we'll try and put it in the comments, where you can sign up to get an email when the book comes out. And we're gonna be spending more time in the future talking about the process.
Really soon. Okay.
But I think it's gonna be done in 3 months,
Can
and
I say hi to the camera?
All right.
Now, can I
We're not saying Shabbat Shalom. You can just say bye. Or you can say see you next time.
hi, bye, see you next time.
It's easy to waste our time, and if we're doing it, our kids are doing it. We wrote a book about how we created a schedule and transformed our family's panic into purpose, all in 1 week.
Time to do a workout.
The book has all the tools and mindsets that we use and is basically the best of content of like 1,000 videos, and you can read it in less than an hour. Are you ready to change your week?